Hello, Kindred. How are we this evening?
Yeah. Yeah, that... What the hell happened back there, Sammy? I have no idea.
On my way.
Speaking of Prunella...
I don't think I'm a kindred.
Give it time, my dear. Speaking of Prunella... You got a little waylaid. You had some conversations to have. You find yourself walking into the warehouse. Oddly, the door is unlocked for you. And after an extensive search, you don't find anyone. The Coterie should have been here by now. Oddly should have been here by now. And as you go to find the exit, the air in front of you starts to shimmer. The door that you came in through is gone. Left with no alternative, you find yourself stepping through the shimmering air. And that's when everything goes black. You find yourself coming to, but we'll get to that in a second. We are going to assume that you had a conversation with the Storyteller, one which you did relay to your STs. Thank you for that. As for what you got, you'll find out shortly. As we shift...
Go ahead.
Y'all
are just gonna have to wonder what Prue's biggest regret was.
You're welcome to share with them if you want, in the sidebar. For the rest of you...
No, unless it comes up naturally in story, or the others would have overheard. No.
For the rest of you... and Prunella, you all find yourselves waking in the main show area for Audley's Circus. After a rather weird encounter with somebody somewhere that shouldn't exist, a lot of secrets have been shared. It's just the 5 of you. The others are nowhere to be seen. Those sconces on the wall flicker to life a little bit. Slight whoosh moving through the room as they do. It's quiet. There's no sign of blood. There's no sign of bodies. The bodies that you know should be here according to the information you'd been given.
When I was searching, did I go in here?
In here? You searched everywhere.
Okay, so I went in here. Before I went through the mist and blacked out, when I was in here, were there bodies and they've just suddenly disappeared, or were the bodies gone even then?
The bodies were there. We shift our focus for a moment to one Prunella, the newest addition to this motley crew.
Sorry, I had to put my thanks back in.
You're good. You, much like everyone else, is opening your eyes, coming back from wherever that was. You feel your hand tightly grasped around something. And as you look down in your hand, you open it. And there lying inside of your hand are 2 black poker chips. You instantly recognize them. And because of the marks and scuffs on them, you also instantly recognize to whom you gave them. You hear a voice ever so slightly echoing through your mind.
A gift, my dear. Couple of debts forgiven for you. Use them wisely. Consider that restored.
Out of character, who did these belong to? Because I'm thinking about all the people that would have black chips, and
You know exactly who they belonged to.
she didn't give them to them yet.
Hold on. Nope. Nobody here. Somebody that's been looking for you for a while, I believe. Somebody that's been tracking.
So both of these black chips came from him.
Yep. And then, as if sensing the tension, that echoing voice speaks up again.
Don't worry. He won't remember he had them.
I still owe him other things. He won't stop.
Then you can work on that.
As the rest of you wake up, what are you doing?
Dorme's just gonna wake up real quick and just like put her arms out and try to feel who's next to her.
That's up to the group.
I don't know who would be next to me.
Sammy would probably shoot straight up. Like the body is flat and then, torso just immediately goes vertical sort of thing.
Like Undertaker style? Like that's
Undertaker style, yes. I wasn't going to make that reference, but since you pulled it, for those that get it, you get it. But yeah, so she pops up and looks around, mildly panicked. Looks over at Dorame, goes, I'm sorry, that was way above my pay grade. What the hell just happened?
That was new. Please tell me you saw the exact same thing that I did, because if not, I don't know what was in the last thing I ate that made me think that. But dear God, I need more of it if it's going to give me that photorealistic of a dream.
Isabella groans softly and like rolls over. I think the last thing you guys ate was at the she takes out a notebook, the circus.
By the way, since we're sitting with Isabella at the moment, much like Pernell, you hear a voice echoing through your head.
While we haven't restored everything, we are at least going to give you the memories of your Domitor back, because that's just wrong. Everything about him that he's told you.
Isabella blinks a few times, clearly confused before she... Ow, 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 fuck!
Dorme will, try to hold Isabella's head. Honey, what's going on?
You ever drink a slushy super, super fast and all of a sudden your brain hurts?
I mean, I've had, ice cream. I've ate ice cream too fast. Oh, God. Was he in there?
He did that. But hey, I remember Ricky now. That's sweet.
Thank God for small favors, I guess.
As Prue is staring down at the chips, thinking about what this means, she closes her eyes and just asks the voice in a whisper, "But what he gave me, that's still true, right? She's still safe?"
That remains unchanged.
I feel like I should give one of these to you.
Maki, what are you doing?
Maki, while that all was happening, stood up and has just been kind of looking around the room, kind of surveying the area.
Int plus investigation, please.
Once Prunella is met with silence and she's just like, okay, I'm not going to get any more answers, she kind of blinks back the blood tears and starts looking around the room. She sees Maki and gets a look of, oh, okay, that is something that I need to face, but probably wasn't ready to. Sees Sammy and Dorame and Isabella. Isabella, she looks at you a little weird. Like she doesn't quite recognize you, but she feels like she should. And then she scans around. And her face makes a cuss word. Where's Ottilie?
Maki.
I rolled a 5, but 2 of them are 10s.
And either of those 10's a hunger dice?
No.
Thank you. We'll get to that in a moment. Continue.
It doesn't seem like everyone's here, which is probably what by design. I hope everyone's safe, but what did he say? A test?
We have to prove ourselves, supposedly. So what I'm guessing is that we're not all going to be together. Obviously, for various reasons.
Do you think you'll be multiple choice at least?
No.
No.
Maki, as you're looking around, there were a number of doors in this room previously. The one thing that stands out to you is now there's only one.
So, I'm guessing as a part of this test, the warehouse has been altered, considering how there's now only one door in this room, and the veritable lessening amount of blood and bodies that I was expecting, or lack thereof of blood and bodies that I was expecting.
I can confirm I don't think we're back yet. I was in here earlier, and it was an absolute massacre. I don't think this is real.
Oh, it's real enough, my dear.
The voice speaks up from the walls themselves. Everyone can hear this.
We just
Dormy.
borrowed
Dormy
the
from
place for a
Dempsey.
moment. You didn't think I was gonna let you go that soon, did you? We're not done with you yet.
Dormy.
Yes, I thought you would.
Dorme just kind of looks up. You know, you could have, used a chime or something instead of scaring us 10 feet out of our skins, you know.
But where's the fun in that?
All right, Game Master, what's your test?
I'm not the Game Master, that's my brother. If you're at least gonna address me, you can get my name right.
Sorry, Storyteller.
That's better. Well, we've borrowed the warehouse for the moment. But you won't be remaining here. Think of this kinda like a waiting room. While we get things set up for you. While we have decided that we aren't ready to let you go just yet, we have decided that we want to see what kind of people you are, and if you're the right ones. We are going to give you a chance to potentially change something. The choices that you make going forward will have a real-world effect. But you're the only ones other than us that will remember. Tell me, do you think you'll have enough faith in yourselves to make the right choice?
So, are you saying that the gifts we were given are not permanent?
Oh no, the gifts that you were given, are permanent. They are yours to keep. Fair is fair after all. They were given in fair trade. One that was negotiated beforehand. Speaking of which, I do believe things are ready whenever you're ready to step forward through the door. Or, you could just stay here for the rest of eternity. I guess the choice is up to you.
Is this it?
That, Isabella says as she starts walking towards the door.
Isabella, can you hold for 2 seconds so I can ask some questions before you just go marching forward?
Prue just hears the name and nods. Yep, that's exactly what she said you'd be like.
Dorme just grabs the back of Isabella's jacket. Oh, no, you don't, ma'am. Right here.
So, Storyteller, is this going to be a team building exercise? Or is this going to be we walk through that door and we all have our own tests?
You get no answer.
Lovely. Of course he goes radio silent. They go radio silent. Whatever the fuck they are, I don't give a shit. Well, you know what they say about faith to the faithless. You're gonna get fucked one way or another. Let's go through the door.
I'm pretty sure that's not the saying.
That's my saying. I never said it was someone else's saying.
Anyway, once more into the breach.
Prue takes one more look at the chips in her hand before slipping them into the pocket right above her heart in her coat and walking forward till she's basically right behind Maki.
Maki is going to whip around and look at Prue and say, keep your distance. Stay away from me. While we may be in a shit show situation right now, and I will hesitate before I fuck you up. Leave me alone. Now is not the time.
Oh, come
Stick
now.
by someone else.
That's not really any way to talk to people that you're gonna need to play nicely with now, is it? Try
You
me.
didn't say we had to play nice.
I'm sorry. Did you think you were gonna be surfing through this on your own with everyone else here? Did you think we just grouped you together for fun?
Oh no, I assumed there was a reason.
Then use that.
But just because I can
beautiful
work with
brain of
them, it
yours.
doesn't mean I have to be nice.
Use that beautiful brain of yours. And tell us why you think we put you all together.
I'm guessing because you know that there's hard feelings between some of us, and you want a nice show.
We want to see what you're capable of.
They want to see if we can all work together, even if we don't necessarily like each other.
I'm gonna add one more rule to this. Either you all come back, or none of you come back.
I thought you weren't the game teller. You can't just add rules.
In this room, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And unfortunately, we just have to play the game. So, before we walk through this door, I'm going to say this and just air it out right now. Prue, I don't like you. But I will work with you for this time, and we can air out our grievances and talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about after. Everyone else, we don't know each other very well. Isabella, I know you semi-well. I will be on my best behavior. Just don't expect me to be happy about it.
Honestly, I would be worried if you felt any differently.
Now that that's all done and over with, can we please go through the damn door and stop arguing with the ominous voice in the room? Or are we just going to sit here and jabberjaw all night?
Yes, let's all hold hands and jump into the abyss together.
She'll loop her arm with Isabella and Maki because she's like, I'm not letting neither one of you bitches out of my fucking sight.
Just
You act
Prue,
like I'm gonna do something bad if you don't keep an eye on me.
Not bad. Questionable in nature, maybe, but never bad.
Prue, so is Dorame in the center with Isabella on one side and Maki on the other?
I figure I'm off to the side, but figure she's holding Isabella. She's probably not in the middle, but she's holding Isabella and she's holding Maki.
I mean, like the order of the lineup. Like it goes Maki, Dorame, Isabella.
Sure.
With you in the middle of the two of them. That's
fine.
what I mean.
That's fine. Let's all go through the door.
Prue doesn't try and touch you. She adjusts where she's standing behind you. So she's standing behind Dorame with Isabella diagonaled one side and Maki diagonaled the other.
and let's go through the door.
You take a hold of what appears to be an old school cast iron door handle. Door latch like you'd see on an old farmhouse or maybe an old garrison or something. The wood looks just as out of place as the door handle does. Same style of door to match the door handle. Creaks open. The air is shimmering on the other side, and a few feet from that is a solid wall.
Why
Isabel's
does
gonna attempt to walk through.
As Isabella walks through, she disappears.
Damn it!
What, like you didn't know that was going to happen? This is the only path we have anyway. Let's go.
All right. Walks
Go.
through.
all of you go? I'll make sure nothing follows us.
As the lot of you step through the door, everything goes black. Feel like you're being picked apart atom by atom and reassembled. You get...
We might want to pause because it looks like Quinn is AFK for the moment.
No, Blaze knows that I have to step away sometimes. I always have my headset on. They can keep going.
You step through the door. Everything goes black. Feels like each of your atoms is being picked apart and then reassembled. Once that's done, that feeling of pins and needles. Tight pressing of the chest, almost like there's an elephant sitting on it, like the space around you is pressing in from every direction. You can't quite help feeling just a little claustrophobic before a deafening pop. You find yourselves being caressed by a dry breeze. One moment, please. The night air is cold and dry, carrying an unmistakable chill that comes only with the prairies. Sinks beneath the collarbone, claws at exposed skin. Your eyes snap open. You're lying on cracked concrete beneath a flickering street lamp. Overhead, orange and yellow light sputters like a dying flame, casting long shadows that twitch with every pulse of electricity. Something seems off about the light. You can't quite put your finger on it. You're on a sidewalk. Urban sidewalk. A faint hum of fluorescent light buzzes from a shop front sign that hangs nearby. This one advertises a pawn shop. The neon sign says open in the window, for a moment later flicking off. The street blinks with a labored rhythm. The lights on the street blink with a labored rhythm, stuttering like a heartbeat out of sync. As you push yourself upright, the cars parked along the curb are all metal and chrome. Something that hasn't been seen around these parts. Cars seem to be all muscle and noise. Big Cadillacs, boxy sedans, and then there's the occasional rumble of what appears to be a really loud muffler every once in a while. It reverberates off the glass around you like a growl. The air stinks of exhaust, old cigarette smoke, and the kind of perfume that clings to both seats and lonely skin. Somewhere far off, you can hear a saxophone playing from a club or something. Laughter spills out from an alley. Too loud. And then it dies quickly like a door being shut. Across the street from you stands a rather familiar building. A cathedral. A basilica. That some of you have become fairly acquainted with. Same building, different setting.
The minute that Prue realizes, oh god, we're out on the street, she immediately pulls her hood.
Is there anything around me that would be indicative of a time frame or year? Like a newspaper or television or something?
Make me an intelligence plus investigation, please.
Can I also, since I've been living in this city for a very long time?
Make me, I'll give you an assist. I'll give Dorme a dice.
All those dice and I got nope, wait, sorry, that's 3. I lied. That's 3.
Three. Make me an intelligence roll. Straight intelligence. You've seen, with Maki's help, you've seen vehicles like this before, but you can't quite pin from where. They used to be common, but you can't quite pin anywhere, any time. Things are a little muddled in your head. It's almost like your brain's a bit scrambled at the moment.
She'll point to one and be like, I know these. I've seen these.
We are obviously not in our current time, because this is definitely the past.
These are new. Can I tell if they're new or not? Do they appear new?
Some of them are. Most of them aren't. They look like they've been driven around a fair bit. Some of them look like they're on their last legs, so to speak, their last wheels. Some of them look like they've still got a bit of life left in them, but there's one or two that look fairly new.
Classics. Some more well-loved than others.
I'm going to get our dear Isabella to roll me an int plus investigation.
That's a very lucky roll. I got a 5.
You place these cars almost instantly. The memories are a little fresher in your mind at the moment. You don't understand why, but it's like they're being plucked out of your brain and pulled towards the front.
You hear Isabella just start pointing and saying, That's a 71. That's a 74. That one over there, that's a 65. I'm surprised that's still running.
If we're back in time, it might be fairly new.
And if we're in a test, we may be dealing with something so ancient that this is all it's got the reference for.
If I had to guess, I'd say mid 70s, give or take.
I would also like to point out that this might not be a reference for this entity. This might be a reference for one of us. Because they said that things could be changed depending on our choices.
You hear sirens coming down the street. They grow louder and louder and louder. Squealing tires. Turn the corner. Pull up outside of the basilica. For a couple of police officers get out of the car. They leave the car running, lights flashing. They run up the stairs and in through the basilica doors, yanking it open.
Maki, how long did you say you've lived in the area?
I've lost track, but I know someone else who's lived here probably longer than I have.
Lived might be a, not technically correct word for it, but yeah, my guess with either you or her.
Considering how I've never been to the basilica, I'm guessing this is Isabella's either memory or something to do with her specifically.
I don't remember police ever coming to the basilica.
Sneaky
Your memory is kind of fuzzy right now.
Should we do a sneaky investigation? Maybe a little eavesdropping?
First of all, long-term memory has been A-okay. Short-term memory's been on the fritz. But thanks for asking.
I can try and get closer if you'd like.
That's right, you can do the invisible thing.
And that may be useful because as much as I could talk my way into a situation, I'm pretty sure if we are either back in time or just a recreation of it, my contacts are not in the police department yet, so I can't pull the strings I normally would.
Also, if we're back in time, anything we say or do could impact the future. Which means if we are seen or seen talking to people or anything, it could severely impact the timeline. God, I sound like we are in the middle of a Doctor Who episode. Yes, I know what that is.
Dorme just will kind of smirk. I knew you were a little nerdy. Okay. Well, Prue.
I'm goth. It comes with the territory.
It's fine. I'm not judging you. Prue, why don't you do your Houdini trick and we'll try and one of us will try and get as close to the door as we can and listen in really well. I think that will be the best course of action.
Am I able to activate 2 disciplines at once?
Which ones?
Unseen Passage and, I forget the name for it, but the one where I'm silent.
Oh, Silence of Death. One moment. pretty sure you can. Just let me double check.
Also, if anyone here has modern technology, like cell phones, don't pull them out here.
Dorme will
That's
just look
fine.
over.
I think I forgot mine at home.
Dorme will just look over at Maki with a cute smile. What's a cell phone? And give her a wink.
Maki kind of smiles and then just kind of looks away.
Also, is there like a newspaper stand around, or like a newspaper thing?
That'll be in plus investigation. As for your
Okay.
question, Prunella, I don't see why not. But for your unseen passage, you are going to have to roll me a rouse check.
And that is, remind me again, because I've only done this once. That's one of my hunger dice.
That's one of your dice. Just roll me a d10. Tell me if it's a pass or a fail. Pass being 6 and up, fail being 5 and below. You don't have to tell me what the number is, you just have to tell me if it's a pass or fail.
Also, can I burn a willpower? These dice are failing me today.
You don't have to ask me if you want to burn a willpower, you just have to tell me you're doing it, so long as you have the willpower to burn.
Alright, I'm gonna burn one.
So you said 6, you said 6 and up is a pass?
Correct.
Then that is a pass.
You pop off, you go invisible for a moment. Give me one quick second, we'll get to you. Dorme?
4.
You don't find one on the ground, but you do happen to find one, actually, through the window of one of the old school cars. It's the 1974 that Isabel had pointed out before. And you do manage to pick out the date on it. I'm assuming that's what you're looking for.
Date and also any possible headline.
The headlines, nothing really that stands out. City business mostly. Somebody won an award. Somebody else, helped complete some charity work. There was a hockey game the other night. The Oilers won. The date, however, reflects June 8th, 1978.
She'll lean over to Isabella. June 8th, 1978. Does that sound familiar to me?
No. If it was in June, there was a chance that me and Sister Mary Clarence were off at a retreat somewhere in the countryside.
Prunella.
Which would explain why you wouldn't remember. Please.
You've disappeared from sight. Paint the scene for us.
The minute that their attention is drawn to other things and no one's looking at me, Prue pops her hood, and in a blink, she's gone. And the next second, she kind of slides her foot on the ground and activates Silence of Death, and then she's silent, walking away. The only evidence that she has is maybe a leaf or two on the ground that's been disturbed by her footprints as she makes her way cautiously, slowly over to the basilica, going around the side of the cars, giving the cops adequate room to make sure that she doesn't accidentally bump into any of them. Creeping slowly closer up to where all of them are going, to see what is going on that requires this amount of law enforcement.
As you pull closer through the heavy wooden doors on the outside, you can actually hear some screaming coming from inside, some yelling. Just Prunella.
Are there words that are being yelled?
It's too muffled.
Or
The door's muffling a fair bit.
is the door still open enough that I can slip through?
The door's shut.
Is there a window where I could peek in?
Unfortunately, these windows are all barred.
Not sneak in, peek in, like see what's going on inside.
Not that you can reach from the ground on the upper level. Any windows that you could look into would probably be attached to the basement. The windows that you could look into are probably about a floor and what would be a floor and a half. It's not really much of an issue for you, though, as the yelling seems to be getting louder and louder, and then a moment later, the door is thrown open. Luckily, you're not in the direct line.
Yeah, because she would, like, at the minute she's like, okay, I need to get in. She's backed up, and she was looking at the windows way up there, thinking, could I jump and get up there when the door was thrown open?
As the door is thrown open, the two cops that ran into the building emerge. Both of them are carrying what looks like a young girl, screaming and yelling obscenities, actually. We're talking dirty blonde / brown hair, a collared blouse, and what looks like a plain purple dress. It's be about 14 or 15 years old, somewhere around there. Screaming,
Very subtle.
"Let me go. Get your hands off of me. Let me go!"
Very subtly, Prue is going to, like, push a brick or a rock into the door so it doesn't completely shut.
You do so, and the cops make their way down the stairs. The little girl's flailing. She's looking around, and then her eyes land on Maki, Isabella, and Sammy and Dora May. And she screams, "Help me! Get me out of here! Make them let me go!" Before they unceremoniously shove her into the back of a cop car.
Dorme will approach. Gentlemen, what happens? What seems to be the issue here?
One of the cops turns to you, blood streaming down his face. Do I really have to tell you? He's got a bit of a lisp because he seems to also be missing a tooth.
Maki is right behind Dora May, and it's like, ooh, she got you good.
Pretty sure she broke my nose.
While they are keeping the cops distracted, Prue, and Prue knows that the door isn't going to shut. She's going to sneak over and very, very carefully unscrew the cap of one of the tires on the cop car that the girl is in so that it will slowly let off the air. And by the time the cops try and drive off, they will have a flat tire.
Maki is gonna do what she does best and turn on her charm, which is exactly what she does. The customer service, but very sweet, charming voice, and goes, "Man, that really looks like it hurts. Could I get anything for you? I've got like a rag. I could hold it for you. That looks really bad."
Dorme will hand Maki a handkerchief. Here, honey, this one's clean.
Can I help you with something? Is there a reason you're here?
Clarifying question. If it's a 6, is that a success?
If it's a 6, yes. 6 and upper is a success. Is there a reason you seem to be, so overly concerned about me?
Well, you protect our city, and you're bleeding. Obviously, I would be concerned as, a citizen. But also, I mean, you may not remember me, but we have met before. I just was too scared to say it.
And Dorme will just, with one arm at her side, one arm behind her, will kind of like try to signal Sammy and Isabella to get to the car, to get the girl out, if possible.
I will 100% roll if you want me to fucking roll for that.
Give me a second. Sam, I see you standing there. Or I see you sitting there. What's up?
Did I get a good enough look at the girl to where I could try to figure out if she might be the girl I think she might be?
You are welcome to give me a wits plus awareness. Maki. Manipulation and persuasion, please.
No charisma? No, I'm kidding.
I got 3 successes on my endeavor to give the cop car holding this girl a flat tire.
As far as you can tell, you got the cap on the air plug off just fine.
Do I hear the hiss of the air coming out of the tire?
You do not.
So, I got 5 successes. 2 are 10s. One of them is my hunger dice.
Sammy?
Sorry, I'm just reacting to that one. I spent a willpower on this, just to be noted.
Don't forget to subtract the willpower when you use it.
Yeah, did it.
Give me 1 sec, Maki.
5 successes.
5? One moment. I need to check something quickly.
Do I just not know enough about cars? Is that not how you get the air out of a tire?
The inside of the plug of a tire for air is effectively a one-way valve. The air pushing out won't escape, but when you go to put air in it, the valve will release. That valve has to be propped open on the inside in order for the air to come out.
That's on modern cars. Some cars back in the 70s didn't have that function yet.
And I'm telling you that this car has a one-way valve.
Okay.
Nice try, though.
Listen, you want to play in the 70s, I'm gonna tell you.
Negotiations with the STB, like...
Well,
Can I roll?
Back in 71.
Can I roll to see if Prue knows enough about cars to know that?
One moment. Let's go wits plus insight for that. Where is it? Give me 1 second. We're gonna do this. Give me 1 second while I drag my dice out. God damn it. The cop looks at you for a moment, Maki, and then, what are you wearing?
Actually, Maki is wearing one of her because she didn't have time to change. She's wearing like a skin
You guys actually did make a point last session of taking time to change.
Okay, well, either way, this is what Maki's wearing. This is what I have decided. Maki is wearing a skin-tight black dress that goes down to her knees with a slight slit and a leather jacket.
The cop looks at you, Maki, looks you up and down, and his eyes linger on your chest for a moment. He's not, like, hiding it. He's just, yeah. And then his eyes pop back up. Yeah, I bet you were. Sorry, honey, but I have a wife, and I doubt she'd be, pleased with me for a fling or for a one-night stand.
Oh, so committed. Oh, sorry that you got snatched up off the market.
On the roll with the tire, I got 2 successes, and one of my failures was a 1, but it was not on my hunger dice.
Yeah, no.
Quick reminder for the storyteller to also about Sam's role.
I understand that. I am getting there. Just bear with me. Unfortunately, Brunella, that's not enough. Sammy, you rolled a 5, yes? I didn't forget about you. I was getting there. So,
I figured. You're good.
tell me, what are you trying to figure out exactly?
This behavior seems very specific. She's been sitting there silent for a reason. That she's been doing the mind palace of not having the cork board in front of her, so she's been doing it inside of her skull the entire time. Is this either Isabella or some relation possibly of Isabella further down the line?
I
That's
would
what
have
she's
guessed.
trying to figure out.
I would have guessed it might be Dorothea.
Or someone she recognizes. Let me put it that way. Like, if not Isabella, then someone else from the time period. She's just trying to figure out if she recognizes this person.
Given the time, the date, accounting for a few years, accounting for no piercings, no hair dye, you are looking at a very young Isabella. Both cops, a moment later, get back into the car. one of them making sure to lock the back doors. They shut the doors and they drive off.
I had a thing I was gonna do.
What were you going to do?
How many people does compel work on?
One moment.
Because I was waiting for that in my back pocket if the flirting didn't work.
I think it's one at a time.
One moment.
Okay.
Where is it? It's blood sorcery, that's not it. What discipline? Oh, that's dominate, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is a single victim, and you have to be able to maintain eye contact.
Okay, well that guy was looking me directly in the eyes. If he had enough wherewithal to look at my chest, he had wherewithal to look directly in my eyes. So this is what I wanted to do, and you could tell me if I was too late or it didn't work, is that as soon as the flirting didn't work, she wanted to compel this cop before the other cop came out to let the girl go, and then for us to fucking book it.
As soon as he realizes what you're trying to do, his attention's already back on the car.
Okay, then, like, can I punch him?
You're welcome to do so if you wish.
Do it! 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 Do
There
it!
is a hand up.
Also,
There's a
I'm
hand
a-
up.
Isabel's a bad influence. Yes, Sammy, before I do it, Sammy, say what you're gonna say.
Oh. Here. Does entrancement require eye contact?
According to Ocean in the chat, no, but it only affects one person. Give me 1 second to find it.
It's presence.
Thank you, that helps. One moment. Something wrapped fascination or infatuation akin to falling head over heels in love or meeting one's lifelong idol. The person affected does their best to remain in the vampire's good graces, but stops short of causing themselves or the loved one's physical harm. It's up to you.
So
I
Sammy
would
will
also.
look- Yeah, go for it.
You first.
Okay. Sammy will look at this officer, see Maki, have the complete and utter failure that happens, and then the Toreador in her takes over. And she goes, oh, all right. And then she'll look directly at him and activate entrancement.
Make me a rouse check, please.
Was what I was going to
If I could still compel him.
What I was going to ask is, Prue doesn't know why the thing isn't letting the air out. Would it be reasonable for you? Would you say for her to like poke it anyway, like with one of her really long nails, just like stick it in the plug to see why is it not working?
The plugs are like really small, usually on a tire. We're talking like you'd need something smaller than this, generally, to put in the air valve.
You need like lead from a pencil. Like that's how thin it is.
That's how thin that hole is. It's just really high pressured air going in, which is why I can force that valve open. But the hole the air goes in is really small.
Okay, so she's like, I don't know why this isn't working. She doesn't want to slash the tire because that feels like she's leaving too obvious of of evidence that someone was here.
Sammy, would you roll for your rouse check?
Passed.
All right, if you're attempting, that'll be... So normally it's charisma plus presence. But because of what you guys are attempting to use this for, that charisma is changing to a manipulation plus presence.
You got it.
One moment, please, while I grab some info.
While Sammy's doing that, can like Maki kind of like make a signal with her hand if Prue's still, if she doesn't know if Prue's still around, but if Prue's still around, like point at the door to like shut up, so that the other cop can't come out.
I thought both the cops already both came out of the building holding young Isabella.
Right now we're only talking one cop. So I assumed the other cop hadn't come out yet.
Roll me a single d10.
Oh, one of these down my...
Clarification, Blaze, did both of the cops come out at the same time, or is one of them still in the building?
They both came out at the same time holding Isabella.
Both came out at the same time because Isabella was not going down easy.
What did you roll, Sammy?
10.
Paint the scene for
Rolled a
me.
10. She will look at the cop and it's almost like her eyes sort of get a sort of shimmer that goes across them. And I guess if I would paint the thing the way I imagine it in my head, you cut over to his eyes and the same thing goes over his. And then she'll just carefully step over to him. And instead of necessarily going seduction, she's going to charm him a different direction. Even though she could totally seduce the daylights out of him in this point. But she walks up and goes, excuse me, I'm a new detective in the area. My name's Samantha Montgomery. And those of you that know realize that she's just grabbed Jasper's last name for the for the decision. I happen to deal with cases like these on a frequent basis. Is this a frequent juvenile delinquent by any chance?
You got any ID?
I do. I will tell you I just recently got married, though, so... And then she'll just reach in her pocket and pull out the card. So she's not pulling out her actual legal ID, but she's pulling out the business card and showing it to him.
He
Takes a while to get them reprinted.
Takes the card, looks at you. Red skies. thought you said your name was Montgomery.
I told you I got married. Surely as someone that is devoted like you are, you can understand that. Do I look like I've got a face that would lie to you?
Manipulation plus persuasion, please. Because he's currently under an entrancement from you, I'm going to give you an extra dice for that. Yes, Dorme.
Can I look on the ground for like a nail or something so I could kick it over towards the car where I think Prue might be?
Int plus investigation. Yes, Prue.
God, my talk to type is just being a jerk lately. Push to talk, I mean. Talk to type is something completely different. Quinn, since both the cops came out, was there something else you wanted to have Maki signal for Prue to do, like open the car door or still close the church door?
No, that was a completely different thing.
Yes, Maki.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's the other cop doing?
The other cop is currently sitting in the passenger seat, the front seat of the car. Looks like he's filling out a report of sorts.
Okay.
Dorme, you got a 5. You managed to find you managed to find a nail. It's bent and rusted. Looks like it'll like flake the moment somebody touches it, but it's there.
I am still invisible and silent, though, so
Correct.
I don't know if you would know that I'm there.
Hoping to God that, kind of on a prayer, Dorme will kind of click her heel where she sees the nail, like kind of right next to the nail, as if to kind of signal Prue, like, it's right here. It's right here.
Oh, hold on. We've just been made aware of something. Yes, I'm aware that it's charisma plus presence for entrancement. I switched the charisma to manipulation because of how they were using it. Sammy?
Burned another willpower, 5 successes.
Yeah, cards can be a bit of a bitch these days. Kind of looks at the card for a moment. Interesting logo. Kind of unlike anyone I've seen these days.
Like I said, I'm fairly new in town. That's part of the problem.
Cool.
Is that... And then she's just gonna say it. Is that Isabella, perchance?
What do you know about Isabella?
Merely that I've been sent to talk to her.
About?
Oh, all of this. Assaulting an officer, all of that stuff. You know, it's...
That's
not good
interesting.
for
The assault just
society.
happened.
Oh, I was just using that as an example. I just mean the behavior. Let's just say this isn't the first time that she's acted up. Correct?
While this is happening, Dorme is still tapping her foot by the nail, like, come on, Prue.
Yeah, well, I don't take kindly to people breaking my nose. And he lets out an actual slur. Inside the church isn't helping matters either. So if you'll excuse me, I have business to do down at the station.
The teen Isabella noticeably is kicking the door louder and starts yelling at him and says, "You fucking deserved it too, you pig!"
I I don't know what I would have to roll to notice Dorame tapping the nail.
Considering you are invisible at the moment and free to do as you wish, for the most part within reason, we'll say that you managed to notice the nail.
Okay, I go and grab it, and I pick it up, and I bring it back to the tire, but she's not sure what she's supposed to... Oh. She doesn't know she's supposed to stick it in the hole of the plug, but she's gonna stick it in the tire. Like, it's reasonable to assume they ran over a rusty nail, and so she just jams it in there.
Strength plus athletics.
Which is exactly what Dorame wanted her to do.
Now, if you're done interrogating me,
I mean, I've still been sent here. So.
Of the two dice I rolled, one of them was a success, and I do have one other thing I was gonna do.
Moment. Sammy, you were saying?
I still need to talk to the girl before you take her away.
You're not the arresting officer. You don't need to do anything with her.
Okay, but whenever you talk to your superiors, I'm sure you'll have a bad enough day with the broken nose, the possible loss of a tooth and everything. I'm quite sure you'd like a pissed off boss on top of that entire cocktail.
Not to mention an internal affairs investigation. Just saying.
You rolled a 2, Prunella?
Oh, I only had 2 dice to roll, and I got only 1 success.
That's not enough to puncture the tire. Not all the way through. It is enough to actually get it sticking into the tire. So if that... One moment. It is enough to get it sticking into the tire, so if they drive away, they'll probably run over it. But you don't get it all the way in. The cop...
She leaves. Sorry. She leaves it in there for now. When she notices young Isabella kicking the door, can she just very sneakily reach up and, like, open the door from the outside so it looks like Isabella kicked the door open?
You're going to grab a Dex plus Stealth, and I'll call you when I'm ready for you to reveal that roll. Sorry, Sammy and Dorame, what were you saying?
Sammy mentioned don't want the chief to come down on him, and Dorame mentioned something about internal affairs.
It wouldn't be the first time I've walked into the station with a broken nose. Not gonna be the last. They don't really ask questions about this sort of thing.
I wasn't talking about the nose. I was talking about standing in my way.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. First of all, I'm gonna have to verify that you're legit. Now, am I gonna be allowed to actually go to the station and get my nose patched up, or am I just gonna stand here on the street and bleed out in front of all of you?
I offered you a handkerchief. Just because you're married doesn't mean you didn't have to take it.
No, you were trying to hit on me, sweetheart. We both know it.
I hit on a lot of people. Doesn't mean I'm not nice.
Prunella, your Dex plus Stealth? Two. So, that's not enough for a success. But it's close enough that I will offer you a win at a cost if you choose to take it. You can either choose to not have the door open, or you can choose a win at a cost. The win at a cost, you manage to open the door, but it's not quiet, which will immediately end your obfuscation. The door handle, A, rattles, B, isn't that well maintained, and C is one of those old school door handles that clicks.
Am I on the side of the car where the cops are?
Yes. The choice is yours.
No, if the one thing Prue knows above everything from over 100 years as a Nosferatu is being seen is death. So if she can't get this door open easily, she's not going to.
So I'm going to step out, take off my storyteller hat here for a second. Stepping out of V5 lore. V5 lore, in older versions of VTM, Nosferatu were seen as a walking masquerade breach. V5 lore has done away with that, and they're now more just seen as disfigured humans. They are not inherently a walking masquerade breach. They just might have certain charisma issues, or they might have issues convincing people to do something for them.
But if she comes out of obfuscate, just so I am aware, if she comes out of it, she is immediately no longer invisible, which means explaining how she just poof.
It's Pernella's decision.
She's not going to open the door, but she is going to do something potentially equally risky. She's down on the ground by this car. She can't get the door open no matter how hard Isabella is kicking, and that she's hoping that the nail will puncture when they start driving. How low to the ground is this car?
Standard height, say somewhere between, I don't know, I think it's 6 to 8 inches. I usually suck with those kind of measurements.
Okay, she can't go under it. She's gonna climb on top of the car and grab onto it so that when they drive away, she goes with it.
Were there any interactions that I missed for this round? No? Okay. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I got everyone. The cop, with none of you really saying anything, looks down at the card again. He opens the front door, the driver's side door, and sits in the seat. Closes the door behind him, but the car doesn't take off. He and his buddy are talking. And for those of you paying attention, you see him pass over the card to his buddy. His buddy examines it, and a moment later you see a CB mic in his hand, and he seems to be talking into it. You can't really make out what he's saying, and talking rather animatedly, having a conversation obviously with somebody on the other end. You hear the warble of an old school CB radio. And then
I would suggest if anyone has anything, they get ready with it because we're about to be made in about 5 seconds.
If I'm on top of the car, can I hear what they're saying?
you cannot.
I would like to activate Arms of Ahriman to have a couple of tendrils hold the car, like wrap around the back axle and prevent the car from moving, but also have another one attempt to open the door where Isabella's kicking.
Dice is a funny thing. A dice can hold the power of persuasion in its hand. Important decisions could be made on the single roll of a dice. Before you can activate your discipline, Dorme, the door opens. The cop grabs the business card from his buddy. He steps out. And he closes the door. He walks over to Sammy. Rather stern look on his face. Sammy Montgomery, huh? I mean, that's not who, and that's not the business that was answering the phone when we called. But they did back up your story. So here's what I'm gonna do. You sure you've got this, kid? She's not an easy one to handle.
It's not my first rodeo.
His buddy leans over and passes him a piece of paper that's been ripped off of the pad he was writing on. The cop takes the paper, reaches into his pocket, grabs a lighter, flicks it. The paper goes up in smoke. Then consider it like we were never here. If it doesn't exist on paper, it doesn't exist. And he walks over, opens the back door, looks down at the young Isabella in the back seat. Get out.
Fucking gladly, pig, she says as she gets out of the car.
See him stiffen a little bit. The moment you're out, he slams the door shut, hops in the driver's seat, and drives away.
Prue has slid off the top of the car the minute that young Isabella is out. And she's going to walk around and go behind grown-up Isabella and break silence of death. So, Isabella, you don't see or hear her until her voice is right behind you. You said that you remembered being on a trip with your mom when this happened. Are we sure that this is something we were supposed to change?
I said usually I was with Sister Mary and Clarence on a retreat.
A moment later, the basilica doors open. A rather stern-looking nun, carrying herself tall and proud, until under the habit is a fairly curly bit of hair. Kind of trails down in one place and then another. Her skin the color of, again, burnt caramel. She just kind of looks over across the street. She's calling Isabella's name.
Shit. Teen Isabella slowly turns around. Little Isabella turns around with a sheepish look. Teen Isabella is just like looking at her with a soft smile on her face as little Isabella runs up and just, I'm fine, Sister Mary Clarence, I'm fine. I swear, it's nothing big. Everything's okay.
How did you get out of that car?
They helped. She gestures towards them.
Sammy raises her hand. Nothing to worry
Dorme
about.
waves too.
Prue again whispers behind grown-up Isabella. Do you remember this now?
Isabella stays silent.
Sammy?
She will carefully walk up and go, I was able to talk to the officers and handle the whole situation. You might want to keep an eye on that one, though. I have a feeling she's got the potential for some great things, but that temper may need to work on a little bit.
Oh, trust me, dear. We've been trying to work on it for most of her childhood and early teen years. She is quite a handful, but, I mean, we do love her dearly.
My temper is fine. He was being an asshole.
We both know that your temper needs working on, my dear, and as much as he was being an asshole, we don't hit cops. That's how we go to jail, and that's not where you want to be if you can do good, if you want to do good.
I didn't hit a cop. I hit a pig, and he squealed.
And as much as... You see her stop for a moment. She looks down in her rosary. She kind of grabs it with one hand. She takes her habit, pulls it off of her head. You can see her hair spring forward in all its glory. She takes the rosary off. Trust me, as much as I enjoyed seeing that, my dear, there is decorum that we must abide by. You know as well as I do. Now that I've said that piece, I'm so fucking proud of you.
I'm still grounded, aren't I?
Oh, you bet your sweet ass.
Can I get the old man say in on this and he can veto it for me punching a bigoted cop?
You know I don't like you hanging out with Ryder. He hangs around with a dangerous crowd, my dear.
Yeah, well, he's the only one that seems to like having me around besides you and Sister Seraphina, so...
You'll find your footing one of these days, I'm sure. You're gonna do great things, I think. More than you know. As for the rest of you, thank you for stepping in and intervening on behalf of our dear Isabella. Tell me, what did it cost you?
Oh, I have friends. That's all you need to know.
They flirted with one of them.
It was gross.
Hey,
Is there anything I can do to possibly repay you for that act of kindness?
As
Go for it.
you go first, because yours makes more sense.
Okay. The only thing that we require is you take care of that one with all of your being, and I suspect you're already doing that, so I would call us even.
I'm very glad I waited, because that makes mine better. Prue sees the soft smile on Isabella's face, and she lets go of any worries about what if we changed something we weren't supposed to. And Isabella, you feel a hand on your back kind of pushing you forward. Make up a cover story. Go. Say hi to your mom.
She's still alive.
Yeah, but still. Family's precious.
It's fine.
You could also offer some words of wisdom to your young self. Maybe things you wish you had known to avoid regrets.
I won't listen.
If you'll follow me, perhaps we could chat for a few minutes.
She's saying that to us?
Yes.
Or... Okay.
That'd be a good idea, I think.
Sister Mary Clarence leads the way back into the basilica, up the steps, in through those old wooden doors. Everything in here seems like it's from a time most of you aren't familiar with. It seems a little quainter somehow. She walks in through the main atrium, in through the chapel area, and takes a seat on one of the pews. If you'll excuse me for a moment, I will be right back.
Of course, sister.
Prue, still invisible, goes up. She goes to almost go behind Maki, then realizes that might not be the best idea. So she goes behind Sammy instead. And we're sure that messing with that was the right choice.
That's my girl. I'm hoping I made the right choice.
Well, hopefully this sends her down a better path.
She hasn't disappeared in front of our eyes yet, so that's a good sign.
You look and see Isabella's not there.
Moment later.
And then see she on the other side.
Moment later, Sister Mary Clarence kind of clears her throat from the entrance. Oh, I'm glad to see that you're all still around. If you'll come with me, I have a little something prepared for you. Just my way of saying thank you.
How did she know we were coming?
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
If this is gonna make sense anyway, just go with it.
I'm still invisible, right?
Sister Mary Clarence looks at the four of you. And the smaller Isabella and just kind of motions forward.
Little Isabella runs up.
She takes you to not a seating area, but more of a... It's almost like a small little recreation hall in the building. A place for gatherings that's most likely rented out and community work. Set up on the counter in the small little kitchen snack area is a silver platter with a cover on it. I thought I might offer you some refreshments. And, my heartfelt thanks. And we got your chocolate bar, Isabella.
Is this too little, Isabella?
Yes.
Yes!
If you'll excuse us, we have some talking to do. Don't go too far, and please, for the love of all that's holy, don't go getting into trouble until I at least am done here.
So, yes, I will not get into any trouble at all, but I will probably, she says that she's like walking backwards, be making a not so important phone call to a certain garage. Okay, love you, bye!
Sister Mary Clarence walks over and shuts the door and walks back to the platter. Before she does, though, her eyes scan over the four of you. And then...
Ocean put something in the chat. Apparently the minute that I said something too big, Isabella, I was no longer invisible. Do you want me to make another rouse check to go invisible again?
I'm going to look past that for a moment. As long as it was only Big Isabella that heard you, you should be fine.
Yeah, she didn't go where she was seen. She whispered from behind Big Isabella and then whispered from behind Sammy. She didn't go where they could see where she was.
She looks over the four of you for a moment, and then her eyes stop, lingering almost on an empty space. You gonna show yourself, dearie? Or are you gonna hide? I mean, proper introductions are only, proper, I suppose.
There is a clatter as Prue gets, startled.
And
by...
with that, you pop right back into view.
How did you... What are you?
I'm a nun. Nothing more. She lifts up the top to the tray. Sitting on there, a couple of blood bags for each of you.
You know,
I liked you.
You knew about what was behind the masquerade even before Isabella got involved with it.
Please, I'd be stupid if I didn't know that there were things that went bump in the night here. I wouldn't be doing my job right, would I? You lot, however, you have a different energy to you. Different... There's just something different about you.
And I'm realizing that Prue just phrased that very poorly.
Maki's gonna kind of look at Sammy and look at Dorame, kind of with that look of like, how far are we gonna take this?
Please, you must be hungry.
Dorme will
Samuel.
just take. Dorme will take a bag and just kind of sniff it a little bit.
Smells fine.
And cheers. Blessings to you, sister. And and drinks up.
You're not from around here, are you?
What gave it
You
away?
could
My
say that.
accent?
It's Isabella, for obvious reasons, does not grab a blood bag. And she has her hood
Neither
up.
does Maki.
Neither does Prue.
The sister walks over to you, Isabella, stands right in front of you. How are you these days, my dear? It's nice to see you all grown up.
Hi, Sister Mary Clarence.
It's good to know that you haven't forgotten me.
Never.
Am I still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna ask much. I was told not to.
Told by who?
Woke up this morning, voice in my head. Can't really tell you much else.
Ah, we know exactly who that was.
Is that how you knew I was there?
Oh no, that comes with the true faith, my dear.
Ah, religion.
More
Does
of a...
this mean you knew I was gonna punch him?
Yeah, sometimes we have to learn lessons on our own. And we both know that's not the way that turned out originally. I was told some things might change today.
Yeah.
Looks over at Sammy. Sounds like you made the right choice.
Would appear so.
We both know that you originally ended up in jail tonight.
Got into a few fights there, too.
There's a lot weighing on you. What's going on?
Let's just say that the last little bit for me has been going through a lot of ups and downs.
You want to talk about it? Like an actual adult? Yeah, there's the Isabella I remember.
Let's just say that through some vampire tomfoolery, there's been some issues going on that I have been pulled into. But I'm okay.
Find yourself on a path you didn't think you'd be on. Find yourself
Yeah.
on a path that... You get the feeling you're confused.
A bit.
How can I help you ease that burden, my dear?
I honestly don't know. Before anything else, though, and she actually looks at Sister Mary Clarence straight in the eye. I know we can't say much, but I just want you to know, no matter what happens, everything is going to be okay. I'll be fine.
I know you will be, and I also know that you're going to make the right choice. But I need to ask, do you trust them? And are they worth
These
it?
guys?
Yeah.
Of course.
Are they worth it?
She says it. Yes. She looks at them. They're my family.
I'm glad to see that you finally found someone that you fit in with. Time makes fools of us all.
Prue looks kind of uncomfortable by this exchange.
You're stuck with us too, by the way. You've been pulling this tomfoolery, and you're a part of this too. Even though I don't know your name, you're stuck with us. And no, you don't have a choice.
Maki, by the way, Isabella, Maki, during the time where you said family, kind of slipped her hand or back on your shoulder that has Kieran's leather jacket and squeeze.
Oh, right. I know your name and you don't know mine yet. That's really bad manners on my part.
Is there anything that you want to tell me that you can't back home? Anything that you need to tell me?
She's very hesitant as she thinks it's over. In a little bit, I'm going to go down a very, very dark path. One that at times it will seem like I can't come back from. I'm going to lash out. I'm going to do some things I am not proud of. I'm going to feel so guilty about it, but I still love you guys, and I will do what I can to make you guys proud. Just be patient with me, please.
You don't even need to ask for that. You have it unconditionally. My love is unconditional, no matter who you are, and no matter how big those fangs get, my dear.
Prue raises her hand.
And Sister Mary Clarence looks over at you.
Isabella, when did you meet the people who put you on that dark path in the original timeline?
I've already met them.
I was kind of hoping we might have stopped that.
I'm not gonna ask. That's not for tonight. I was told that you might need some guidance, however. Something that apparently I can't offer back home. You're going to do amazing things. Absolutely amazing. You are going to change this world, and you're going to make it better, because you know what it's like to be on the bottom.
I won't let you down.
That in itself, my dear, is a mission from God.
Dorme will step up. Well, I don't know about the capital T, capital W, the world, the world. But I could say beyond a shadow of a doubt, she's changed mine and she's made mine a little bit better.
Yeah, she has that effect.
She sure does. Now I know where she gets it from.
I was a rather stone-cold bitch until she showed up on that doorstep. She softened my heart. No matter what choice you make, you can always come talk to me.
I know. I'm actually overdue for some tea with you back home, so.
I don't know if I'll remember this conversation, but For the choice that lies in front of you, my dear, if it makes any difference, you have my blessing.
That makes 2 people then.
Because I know it's in your heart. Unfortunately, our time does grow short. However, you can't remain here forever. I will leave you with one tidbit. Don't tell the father, but I've squirreled something away for you.
I'm aware. In the future, invest in Apple. I can't explain anything else. That's all I'll say.
You know the freezer downstairs?
Yeah?
The one in the kitchen?
Yeah, where we hide the ice cream.
There's a hidden door in the back. You know, the one I showed you? That nobody else knows about. It's my secret stash.
Yeah.
Provided nobody else has discovered it in the ensuing time. When you get back, if you go look, those milkshake chocolate bars that you like, the ones that are your favorite, there's a pallet of them down there for you.
I will definitely go looking for them.
And with that, things start to fade a little bit. Start to get that pins and needles feeling. She just smiles before you completely pop out of existence. She hugs you.
Isabella will hug her back tightly.
As you get that feeling of pressure, being pulled apart atom by atom once again, you find yourself all in the room that you'd originally woken up in, just kind of standing there.
Prue turns over to Isabella. Before we get involved in anything else, my name's Prunella, by the way.
Looking at Isabella, it's a little different. Her appearance has changed slightly. She seems to have a couple of extra piercings on her ear, much like Maki. She has on her wrist tattoo of rosary and dog tags. And her hair pink, green, and a very familiar shade of red, much like Sammy. And then there's this. It's an antique brooch hanging off of her.
Prue looks her up and down. Ah, so we did change something.
You'll also notice she's wearing her leather jacket.
Not Kieran's?
You're wearing Kieran's.
Thanks
See, you're
for the
back.
save, guys.
See, you're back. How did it go?
I think we made the right choice.
Your little punk. That's one less horrible experience in her life. The few days that she spent in jail were not nice or kind to her. She ended up in intensive care. But thanks to you, that's no longer the case. That experience has been wiped from the slate completely. And before you ask, no, that wasn't a memory.
Figured it was real.
Are we all going to get something like that?
No.
Okay. Prue, you can hear in her voice, Prue is somehow both relieved and disappointed.
It was asked that we not only check out what kind of people you are, but that we maybe help out Isabella a little bit, removing some of that burden that she's carrying and helping in hopes that I would lighten her load a little bit.
Maki's gonna ask, why is she not wearing Karen's jacket anymore? What's up with that?
Slight changes. Here, her jacket never got destroyed. And her father would like her to know that he's sorry for having abandoned her.
Maki's dead?
You
were abandoned too?
Your father, Isabella. The one you never knew.
Yeah, well, fuck him.
That's understandable. But you also wouldn't be the person today, but the person that you are today, if things hadn't turned out like that, as hard as it was. What a tangled web we weave, huh? The journey's only just begun. We'll see where this story leads. I have a feeling it's going to be a hell of a banger.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.